What's going on, everybody? We're back with another video, and today we have a special guest, Imperium Tactical, with a special weapon that we're going to check out. Let's get it. Alright guys, so we have a little weapons comparison video today. We have a standard BCM upper, ADM lower, AR15 DI, which stands for direct impingement gun, and then we have Imperium Tactical that is going to go over the Springfield Hellion.
So the Springfield Hellion uses a short stroke piston, which means that you've got a piston that moves just slightly, knocking your bolt back with every cycle of the system. And this gun is fully ambidextrous, so for you left-handed shooters, your safety is on the left or right, charging handle left or right. Also, this ejection port is mirrored on the other side of the gun. Bolt release, mag release, everything on this gun can be operated just as easily by a left-hand shooter as it is by a right-hand shooter. Bullpup design, meaning your action is all behind the trigger. Some of the drawbacks with this gun, there is a lack of real estate up on the front for mounting your lights, bore grips, those kind of things. The safety, I'm not too big on how the safety actually works. You do have a long trigger pull on it that I'm not a big fan of. And the price for it, it's also a relatively high priced weapon, coming in at about $1,500 on the lower end. It just varies where you buy it from. Aside from that, the short stroke piston does give it a very smooth operation with light recoil. You will have to familiarize yourself with how to operate a bullpup as far as mag changes go and that sort of thing. But it's not a bad overall gun. Very, very highly recommended, especially for left-handed shooters. Maybe not specifically for a first ever purchase of a gun.
So he went over some of the pros and cons with the Springfield Hellion. If you do want a completely ambidextrous AR-15, you're going to have to spend a little bit more. Most standard AR-15s are set up for right-handed people. A left-handed receiver, especially an upper receiver, is going to be a little bit more difficult to find and a little bit more pricey.
So some other features about this gun too. It does come from a factory with obviously without this optic, but it is optic ready. It has flip-up iron sights. You can see this one in the front here. There's one that matches it in the back with 5 different range settings. It takes standard AR-15 mags. It does come with a mag pull, 30-round mag in the box. You can use Stanek mags, Lancer mags. Those are all compatible with it. Standard AR-15 grips. This one comes with a mag pull grip, which I'm not a big fan of. It takes all M-lock attachments on the rail.
So as you can see, you have a lot more real estate. You have a 7-sided key mod, and sometimes it's just 3-sided with Picatinny on top. I have 7-sided key mod with Picatinny on top, but for the AR-15, there's going to be a much larger aftermarket support. You can find thousands of brands online that have different accessories, different types, kinds, M-lock, key mod, Picatinny. All right, guys, so one of the biggest things is length. Now, this bullpup that I have in front, the Springfield Hellion, has a 16-inch barrel plus a removable flash hider. Now, my BCM here is a 14.5 pin and welded, which means the tip of this is 16.1 inches. So this would be where the muzzle would start if I had a muzzle device on it. So the top of my index finger is where the difference in length would actually be. So it would probably be closer to 5, maybe even 6 inches difference. All right, so we got this bad boy sighted in. Now we're gonna check the accuracy at 100 yards, and then we'll run a couple of drills. I would like to take this time to thank Mike for supporting this gun for the channel, and Imperium Tactical for coming out and running us through. I don't really know a lot of these. That's why I brought in somebody that does know a lot about these guns. So let's see the accuracy at 100 yards. So the first impressions that I get from the Springfield Hellion, it's a little different, or a lot different recoil system, something that I'm not really used to. So the impulse, it was different. I've only been firing my guns, so this is my first time branching out. So these were my first 3 shots at 100 yards with it, and this was my second 3 shots. So I'm not necessarily worried about this. I didn't want to run a lot of rounds through this gun. I'm trying to keep the round count below 20 because, like I previously stated, this is not my gun and I'm not trying to mag dump into trash piles with somebody else's gun. So I'm really happy with that. The accuracy at 100 yards looks great. So the next thing we're going to go over is mag change and then ergonomics. So I'm going to do a mag change first, and then we'll talk about some of the ergonomics. I've got my shot timer here, so we're going to time it compared to an AR15. So I'm not going to waste a whole bunch of time. I'm simply going to aim at the target, and as soon as I hear the beep, I'm going to fire. So I'm not going to come up or do any of that stuff. I'm only concentrated on mag change, and I have to shoot to set the timer off so we can get an accurate time. So here we go. Woo! Holy cow. So that was 7 seconds, 6.99. Okay, so that was a 7-second reload. That is terrible. I know I can do it faster, but I also did it with the charging handle, and I've just been informed that this is the bolt release, so I'm going to try that instead of digging my hand in there for that. So let's see what we can do this time. Another 1 reload, 1, 6.99. Let's see if I can get it faster. That was a lot faster. That was a 4.08. So I think that would be quite a bit faster than going for the charging handle again. Okay, so we have my prized possession, this BCM ADM AR15, and I'm going to do a reload for time for comparison. So 6.99 on the Hellion was the first reload using the charging handle, and the second reload was a 4.08. So we'll just round it to 7 seconds and 4 seconds. So I'm going to do the charging handle reload first, and then I'll do the bolt release. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we have a 3.6 on the charging handle. So that's 3 seconds faster than with the Hellion. And now I will do the bolt catch. .315, so about 3/4 of a second faster. Okay, so first impressions on the Hellion. I'm not a big fan. I like the size. You guys know that I'm a huge SBR fan, so I do like the compact 16-inch. The accuracy is there. I just couldn't get over the magazine, charging handle, and the trigger. I just didn't care for those a lot. It seems like it would take a long time to get used to. I've been shooting ARs for a long time. And let me turn it over to Imperium Tactical so he can give his final thoughts.
Pretty much my complaints are the same. The trigger is spongy. It has a long pull on it. I'm not used to having the magazine back here. And this gun, the recoil is nice because of the short stroke piston. I'm very much a proponent of those. But the weight is a little bit heavier on this gun. It also does have quite a bit of height of a bore compared to the AR-15. Personally, I prefer AR-15s, especially piston-driven AR-15s. And those are just my final thoughts on this gun as well. Now, once again, like I said, left-handed shooters, this gun is built for you, so that might be something to consider.
So lastly, I would not pick that over the AR-15 like he had previously mentioned, but as far as the rumors that I have heard about the accuracy not being there, clearly we can see that the accuracy is there. And for me, only putting about 10 to 12 rounds through this thing, that's pretty good. The recoil was very easily manageable. But as far as picking it over an AR-15, because of the aftermarket support, because of the trigger, and because of where the magazine and bolt release, I don't think that I can do it, because everything on an AR-15 is out in front of you. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, that about covers it. It's worth mentioning that this gun, it is pretty high price and heavy, but it is cool. I mean, the cool factor
is there. That's, yes.
This gun looks amazing. I do like the way bullpups look, but it's not nearly as practical as an AR-15. It's not as beginner friendly as an AR-15, but you can train yourself to be very proficient with one of these. He demonstrated just handling it for the first time that you can do very well with one, but you're still going to be more efficient with an AR-15 gun for gun.
Imperium Tactical, thank you for coming out. Mike, thank you for letting us use your gun. Y'all, thank you for watching. Have a good day. God bless, and I'll see you at the range.